So now this video actually discusses about what we call as the matrices, and you'll be able to understand what is a matrix and also the order of matrix as well. Now, what is the matrix? Assuming that you are in a group, let's say you are in a group A, let's say in that particular group you are 5 members, and the ages of you as the members, let's say we have we have a member with 20 years and another one is 30 years old, and we have other one which is 15 years and also 25 years or so. Let's say this is the case, and there is a group B. Let's say there is a group B, and let's say that particular group, the members are as of, let's say, 17 years, let's say 20 years, and that should be 40 years, and also should be, let's say, 19 years old. By the way, the groups should be 4 members. Now, this information can also be presented in what we call as the matrix. In that way, we can have it as, let's say, for a group A, we can present it as 20, 30, 15 down to 5. So this is what we call as the matrix. And for the group B, we can also present it as 17 down 22 and 40 down 19. Or even if we think of interchanging the ages, let's say you should have 19, 22, information remains the same. So information will remain the same in that way. And even if we can have, let's say, we can have the presentation of the letters. Let's say we have a group A with letters, let's say group A with the alphabetical letters, let's say A, B, C, D. Let's say that is the case. In the group B with the letters like, let's say X, Y, Z, let's say W. And that should be that. And this information can also be presented as, for group A, we can have A, down B, C, D, like this. And we can have, let's say, for group B, we can have it as X down Y and a Z down W. We can have that. So all these are said to be the matrix. So now, what is the matrix? Now, if we say a matrix, this is the rectangular ordered collection of numbers, letters, or symbols of the same type. That is what we call as the matrix. So that is a rectangular presentation of the ordered that is the rectangular presentation of rectangular ordered collection of numbers, can be the letters, and sort of. In other words, matrix can be of whatever of our interest we would like to present, but that should be of the same kind. Let's say if we're talking about the foodstuffs, the matrix should be of this of the foodstuffs. So let's say you can have a foodstuffs of group A, can be, let's say, a banana, can be that, let's say, maize, we can have, let's say, should be potatoes, can be that, and also let's say you can have, there should be, let's say, pumpkins, you can have that. And what you have here, it's a matrix as well, presenting the matrix of foodstuffs. And we can have the matrix of, let's say, groceries, where we can have, let's say, we can have rice, sort of, let's say, can have soap, and we can have, let's say, sugar, can be that, and let's say we can have cooking oil, should be oil, we can have that. So matrix can be of whatever for interest we would like to present, and the members in the matrix are said to be the elements. So let's say if we have a matrix A that is made up of, let's say, 2, 1, 0, 5. In this case, 2 is a member in the matrix A, and 5 is a member. Actually, a 5 is a member in the matrix A, and 0 and also 1. These are the members of the matrix. So keep that in mind. So that's how you have to understand the matrix. So if we say matrices, this is the plural word of the singular word matrix. So which means, a matrix is the single ordered collection of the elements, while matrices is the combination of 2 or more a matrix. And let's say if we have the matrix of A, we can have 1, 0, 2, 0, and let's say the matrix of the member B, the matrix of B, we can have, let's say, 5, 0, 2, 5. So the collection of these forms what we call as the matrices, and the single ordered, and the single correction and the single presentation, that is the matrix. So keep that in mind. That's how you have to understand about the matrix and the matrices. So here is the question for you. Can you try to come up with the matrices of, let's say, the foodstuffs? I want to see those. Let's say foodstuffs, and let's say the matrices of, the class names. You can have that. And also come up with the matrices of, let's say, the matrix of the school books. You can have that. School books. Can you come up with the matrices of those? And I also try to have the matrices of, let's say, friends. I want to see those friends. And also the matrices of the districts in Malawi. You can have those. I want to see those. So try to come up with the matrices and for those guys. Now, matrices are well known with what we call as the rows and also the columns. Let's say we have a matrix, matrix A, with, let's say, X, Y, Z, let's say Q. Let's say this is the case. So in this case, this matrix contains what we call as the rows. So we have, this is the first row and this is the second row. And let's say the number of rows are presented as should be n. And the matrix contains what we call as the columns. So this is the first column and this is the second column. So which means this matrix contains what we call as 3 columns. There should be 2 columns. And let's say the columns has to be denoted by, let's say, M. Should be that. Now the order of the matrix A is given as n by M, which is given as 2 by 2. Now this is what we call as the 2 by 2 matrix, because it contains 2 rows and also 2 columns. So this is what we call as the 2 by 2 matrix. And how about, by the way, the first number shows the number of rows and the second number shows the number of columns. How about if you can have, let's say, a 3 by 2 matrix? So how can you have it? In this case, we'll have 3 rows. We'll have, let's say, 2 and let's say 2, 5. Now it should be 2, 5. Let's say 0, 1. Let's say 5, 2. So this is what we call as 3 by 2 matrix. So in this case, we have 3 rows and we have 2 columns, so that is 2 by 2 matrix. Should be 3 by 2 the matrix. And how about, let's say, 3 by 3 matrix? So 3 by 3 matrix, it is the one with, let's say, the number of rows is 3 and the number of columns is 3 as well. We can have, let's say, 2, 0, 1, 5, 0, 2, 10, 6, let's say 2. So this is a typical, actually, a 3 by 3 matrix. You should have to understand. So here's the question for you. Can you try to come up with, let's say, 4 by 2 matrix, and let's say 3 by, let's say, 4 matrix, and there should be that, let's say, 1 by 2 matrix. How can you have this? I want to see that. Let's say if you can have, let's say, 2 by 5 matrix. I want to see those as well. Let's say you can have 1 by, let's say, 1 matrix. I want to see this. So try to practice those things and appreciate